Welcome to a Telltale Books video. I'm Greg, and I'm going to talk tonight about the first story from The End of the World as We Know It, the new book based on Stephen King's The Stand. The first story is Room 24 by Carolyn Kepnes, I think that's correct. We are Telltale Books, bringing you the best in literature, literary topics, and graphic design and bookmaking.
If you want to support us, you can find us on Etsy and Pango, where you can find gently used, rare, and even top quality used books.
And if you like this video, be sure to hit the like button, the subscribe button, and maybe even that bell to be notified when new videos go live.
Thanks for joining us.
So The End of the World as We Know It is a brand new anthology of short stories that are all based on Stephen King's The Stand, which I recently finished reading. So it was really cool. I actually pre-ordered this a whole year ago, but it was really cool that this anthology came out right as I was finishing up Stephen King's The Stand. And so I thought, well, I love The Stand so much, I really wanted to dig into this and start reading through it. It's all short works by various authors, so I can do them one at a time. Pretty easy to go that way, but it's going to take me a long time because there's quite a few. I forget exactly how many stories, but there's quite a few stories in here, so it'll take me a while to get through it. The stories are set in the world of Stephen King's The Stand, and the anthology goes through kind of chronologically of the book. And the very first story is part of a whole section called Part 1, Down with the Sickness, which are all set at the time that the virus is appearing and escalating and killing people. And the very first story in Part 1 is Room 24 by Carolyn Kepnes. Now, if you've heard the name Carolyn Kepnes, you've probably heard it in connection with the Netflix series You, which was a really spectacular series. It's based on a book by Carolyn Kepnes, which she has written sequels to. She has 4 of the books in the You series published now. And that has been very successful for her. I haven't read any of her books in that series. I did watch the first 2 seasons of You and really enjoyed it. I think I enjoyed the first season better than the second season. The second season started to just kind of go off in a strange direction for me. But the first season was awesome. So this is the author that wrote the book that is based on. So I thought, oh, well, I really enjoyed that series. I think I'll probably enjoy this story. So Carolyn Kepnes, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but oh well. She was born in Hyannis, Massachusetts, kind of the base of Cape Cod. She's now living in Los Angeles. Author of You, Hidden Bodies, Providence, and You Love Me are the other titles in that series. She lists her influences on Goodreads as Bret Easton Ellis, Joyce Carol Oates, Meg Wolitzer, Stuart Onan, and of course Stephen King. So Room 24 is just a short story set in the Stand universe. At the start of the pandemic, people are just starting to get sick. And there's one portion of the story where there's ambulances going by the house that were involved in here. And a man named Abel, he goes to the home of Mrs. Blanchard. And he's attracted to her. He wants her. But he restrains himself. But he still, as after he's left, I forget what he went there for. He's a salesman or something. But after he left, he continues fantasizing about this woman. And his fantasies get really disturbing. And ultimately, she calls whatever he's going to the house for. Oh, that's right. He's a police officer. And her husband's abusing her. And he gets called back to the house. It's her neighbor that's lodging the complaints. And so he gets called back to the house. And she's been abused again. And so Abel kills her husband. And then he goes and kills the neighbor. And he and Mrs. Blanchard take off together, and in the meantime he kills her daughter. She has a baby daughter. And after this time, and during this time, she's coming down with Captain Trips, the virus, and she ends up dying, but as she's dying, the two of them have sex. It was a well-written story. It was okay. A little too serial killer out there weird for me. I don't think it's completely out of sync with kinds of things Stephen King has done, though. So I think she did a good job, and I think she did what people would expect her to do, and it's a good story. I just didn't love it. I enjoyed it, but I didn't love it. The guy was a total pervert. He was a serial killer. The woman just walks into this and ignores the fact that he's killing everybody around her. The whole pandemic thing from The Stand, it was just background. You could have removed it and just had a story about a serial killer, and it wouldn't have affected the story much. So it didn't really tie into The Stand except in superficial ways, and so that's the weakness. I mean, I'm expecting these stories, and I'm hoping the rest of them will do this. I'm expecting these stories to tie into The Stand and enhance the various sections of it. Give more of the story that Stephen King didn't include in his story of The Stand. You know, there's a whole world with a pandemic going on everywhere across the United States, possibly around the world. And this book does get into, you know, something that Stephen King didn't get into in The Stand. He kept his story entirely in the United States. So some of the writers in this book take the story to the rest of the world and talk about what happened in the rest of on the rest of the planet. So a good story, nice start. I would still recommend. So far, I'm enjoying the book. I still recommend the book, and I have high hopes for the rest of the book to be even better than Room 24. But I found Room 24 just a little bit disappointing. Okay, but don't keep that. But so far, don't use Room 24 as a judge of the whole book. There's a lot more to go. I'm going to go through it one story at a time. I'll get through the whole book eventually. And I hope you'll watch my videos about it as I go through this. And of course, if you've already read Room 24, leave your comments in the comments section. Otherwise, come on back for the next story. It's called The Trip. The Trip or The Trips? The Trips. And it's by Wrath James White. I've never read any of his work before. So I'm going to be intrigued to see what he does with the world. Come on back for that video and much, much more. in the future. Currently reading Mrs. Dalloway. Emily and I will be talking about it. So I hope you'll be watching me again.